Very recently, an announcement was made that there was a strategic partnership between the PMI and the Agile Alliance. Now, Agile Alliance has been around, Roy, for quite a while. How long?
I'm not sure, but probably at least 10, maybe 15 years now. It's
Yeah.
been around for a long time. Good
Like,
organization.
yeah, like way back in the beginning when the
Yeah.
17 signed the manifesto, right?
Yeah.
Like a little bit after that.
Yep. Exactly.
And yeah, so obviously people have been affiliated with the organization for a while, and emotions are going to run high when you hear an announcement like this. So Mike Cohn, who we appreciate and love very much, he
Mhm.
put out the LinkedIn post that said PMI isn't an evil organization,
Yep.
but I am saddened. And I chimed in on Mike's post and I said, actually, it made me pensive and concerned.
Yep.
And some people said, but why?
Hmm.
What's wrong with you? Aren't you happy for me? Like like an Italian mob family. Then they, yeah. So Roy, why would
Yeah.
people be concerned or have feelings that are not immediately jubilant?
Yeah. So obviously you're going to have more agile people. They're a little more concerned about it than you would, traditional, waterfall project managers. And I agree with Mike's statement. It's not like PMI is an evil organization, but here's the major difference. The PMI is based on certifications. Their whole world is about certifications. That's how they make all of their money, or at least the majority of it anyway.
Sure.
Agile Alliance was always independent. They were not based on certifications. They got their money through donation, through people signing up for going to their conferences, contributions, donations, all that kind of stuff. So it was a very independent organization, not based on certifications. So they
Mm,
weren't aligned to any particular framework. It was Agile Alliance. Any
mm,
ideas were more than welcome. Now, there's a very serious concern that now they're going to be more aligned to certifications, and that is
mm.
going to very dramatically change who they are at their core. And that's certainly got me concerned, right? That's my biggest concern, right?
Yeah, immediately I started, freewheeling in thought and stringing things together as you
Yeah,
have. And I thought about one plus one equals, okay, certifications.
it's certifications.
And yeah, and we know that the PMI has had its fair share of agile certifications with Discipline Agile and very recently with the ACP, which in
And
my
disciplined
mind,
agile's going away, right?
and being replaced by, well, they kind of carving some of the DA stuff into the
Yeah,
ACP, which in my mind is the beginning of the end of the ACP. The moment you begin to make
exactly.
it less than agnostic, it was doing very well since Roy, you took yours in like the
I
beginning.
was like the first or second year that it came
Yeah.
out. Yeah, I've had it for a long time.
Yeah, and then you encouraged me to take it, and I took it,
Yeah,
and it was pretty agnostic, and I liked that.
yeah.
But the new ACP is beginning to look kind of strange. So
Yeah.
when I saw this, I knew that the Agile Alliance never dabbled into the certifications, which
Yeah.
thank goodness,
That's
because
why I loved Agile Alliance. They're great.
exactly,
Yeah.
exactly. So now that they are in a strategic partnership with PMI, I really pray and hope they just leave things in that department.
Yes.
Please don't make an Agile Alliance Agile certification because that will, in my mind, be the beginning of the end. Because someone left a very insightful comment and he said, PMI have had more than enough time to affect the world through an Agile certification.
Oh,
If they were
tons.
going to do it, if they were going to do it, ACP would have taken off like a rocket, but it
Yep.
didn't. But why is that? It would have. And I hope that is really a beacon to PMI to just leave
Leave it
leave
alone.
Agile Alliance alone. I know it's now a strategic partnership, but the best thing they can do is just leave the management that they've put in place to do their jobs. Don't you think, Roy?
Yeah, if they can leave Agile Alliance to do what it was originally intended to do, to bring people together, to run the conferences, to share ideas, just expert advice, these kinds of things. That's Agile Alliance was fantastic. It was a great source of reference and a great place for people to meet and network and things like that. Awesome. Unfortunately, as you know, they started having some financial trouble. COVID hit them hard because
Mm,
their conventions were their primary source of revenue. So they've been having trouble, and my guess is that's why they stepped into this. And I agree with you. I just hope the PMI just leave them alone, fund them so we can get back to where they were and have them as the networking opportunity that was just so valuable in the community.
absolutely. Yeah. And for those who want to stay in a solely agile world, it's okay.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong in being solely agile. We don't need to marry both worlds. It's a free world. There's some people just want to remain agile and they have very opinionated views about predictive, and I don't begrudge them. I think it keeps the ecosystem healthy.
Debate, as long as it's a healthy debate, absolutely. When it gets, there was a
Yeah,
lot of this for a while, right? That's not
yeah,
so good. But yeah,
that's
absolutely. We
not.
should have those debates.
Yeah. And Roy, you and I, we're very agnostic in our thinking. We're not
Absolutely.
like gung ho and it has to be Kanban or it has to be Scrum or you are a peasant. We're not like that. But there are some people who take it to the extreme.
Absolutely. It's almost a religion. It's so, yeah, yeah, it has to be followed this way. It has to be, it's all about the frameworks. You must do this. Well, no, you
Yeah.
don't, right? There's lots of
Yeah, no,
options.
no, no, you don't. So, while there's going to be a lot of opinions, we encourage people to kind of step back. Don't be malicious about it,
Mhm.
but at the same time, we shouldn't see it strange when people have different opinions. Not everyone should be happy. It's
Yeah.
okay. Ed DeBono's six thinking hats, rest his
Yeah.
soul.
Yeah.
Ed DeBono got it. There have to be different ways of thinking for the
Yeah.
ecosystem to be healthy and for things to evolve. Not everyone, if everyone, what do you call it, Roy? Hypernorming? You want to tell folks
Hypernorming. Yeah.
what's that?
Many of you probably heard of the Tuckman model for group formation. It's forming, storming, norming, performing, right? There's, pretty standard stuff. There's a thing that happens with humans, right? That we sometimes get to that stage where we're in that norming stage, and people are starting to have some lighthearted disagreements, things like that, but they're still not very productive. If you're not careful, if you don't start encouraging better debate and better healthy discourse, then you get into a state that's called hypernorming, where everyone they just agree, right? It's not that they're afraid to insult someone. It's just that it's just not worth they feel that it's that in a group you must agree with each other in order for that group to be healthy. And it's actually the opposite. You must disagree with each other, right? If you want to be a healthy, strong team that can challenge each other, that can come up with cool ideas, you have to be able to debate. And hypernorming shuts that down.
Hmm.
And Phil, I think I told you the story, a long time ago. I taught a class in it was in Belgium, a really really cool class, a group of project managers, and it was in a pub in Belgium, this like 15th century whatever pub. It was really really cool, and there were a number of the people there that were talking about the challenge that they have as a society. It's not just Belgium, but many places are having this problem where they have shut down discourse, they have shut down disagreement, because as a society, they're viewed that you might insult, you might offend somebody, and they're so afraid to challenge someone else's statements that they've actually stopped innovating.
That's sad.
And it's sad. And he was very, very open about it. And we need to stop this. We need to have that healthy debate. And that's what hypernorming can do is you shut it down,
Mm.
innovation stops, creativity stops, and you disagree with each other and you're just turning out work. That's boring.
Absolutely. So, to our friends at the I applaud you on coming to the rescue of an organization that needed it. And we are really looking for everyone to succeed. But when you hear alternative views and opinions, like sadness, like I said, I was pensive, I was concerned. I
Yeah,
called at least three people immediately. And it's not to say that I don't trust that things will work out. But one thing I know is if there are no alternative ideas or views and
yeah,
everyone's hypernorming, then we're going to end up in a ditch like many organizations have. So, PMI, don't take it personal when you hear alternative views and opinions. If everyone just shut up and said, well, I guess I won't say anything, then how are you going to get alternative ideas and understanding? Because no matter how good the people you put in an organization are, it boils down to the end users and the stakeholders, right, Roy?
absolutely. It just I truly hope, as Mike said, PMI is not an evil organization. They do good work and they have historically done great stuff. But they have to be open,
Hmm.
right? And if they try to make Agile Alliance just an extension of the PMI,
Yeah.
it's really going to shut down a lot of really important stuff.
I believe so. And I really hope, I know people are going to say, leave the leaders to decide. Look, let's learn the trend of what kept Agile Alliance as it was,
Yeah.
really doing great stuff. Thank goodness there were no certifications.
Yes.
And please just keep it like that. PMI can have all the certifications they
Go
want.
for it.
Yeah.
Yep.
But when it comes to the Agile Alliance, it represents an alliance. And one thing that divides a lot of organizations, Roy, is the certifications.
Yeah. Yeah.
It does.
Exactly. And you do question, it's like I'm a fan of certifications. I think there's a lot of value in them, but certifications don't necessarily prove that you know what
Mm,
you're talking about. The experience gives that. And Agile Alliance is more about the experience side. PMI, valuable to have those certifications. Nothing wrong with them. That's fantastic. But to get that real experience, you have to network with others, you have to share, you have to learn from others. And that's what Agile Alliance was all about, which is what made it so cool.
absolutely. Well, thank you very much, Roy, for your opinions. And for you folks who are watching, what do you think? Your opinion does matter. Don't say, well, my opinion, I guess. No, your opinion matters. We want to know. Put a comment below this and be respectful. Be respectful. But be respectful and let us know what you think. And if you had concerns, if you felt a ways about it, let us know what you were feeling. All right. Wishing you a great 2025 and beyond. And Roy and I are here. We'll answer any questions that you have. Just look for us on LinkedIn and let the discussion and the brainstorming keep going. No hypernorming, though.